Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how to make copies of some bits and pieces that you got that you may need a few more of. As I've been working through the Shadow Spear box, I'm kind of noticing that I kind of missed that Reaper skull head across the board. And these Primaris models are in that Phobos pattern armor. And they're all pretty much the same, and there's a few copied models in there. And what I'm thinking about doing is making a few copies of some of these other heads to help customize those models. Now the way I'm going to do that today is I'm going to be using a product called Oemaru. Okay, it's a plastic clay or a thermoplastic, and I'm going to show you how to use this today. The material that I'm actually going to make the piece out of is JB Weld Quick Weld. It is a 2-part epoxy. It sets in 6 minutes. And you basically take one part, mix them together, and in 6 minutes you got a new piece. Okay? I usually mix it on a piece of aluminum foil just so I can throw it away and not have to worry about trash. The thermoplastic itself does need to be heated up, so what I normally do is I use a Tupperware of hot water and I just microwave it for about 5 minutes. Drop the Oemaru into this and let it start to play. And I'll show you how to go through that. I also use a paintbrush. What we're looking for here is the end of the paintbrush, and that'll be used to sculpt the Oemaru around our bit for copying. Okay? So let's go ahead and get started with that process. Alright, so I went ahead and microwaved the water. It's hot. As I was watching the microwave, I was waiting for bubbles to start showing up. Starting to get that boiling process. Drop in our Oemaru stick, and we're just doing 2 heads today, which are pretty small bits. So I don't need a whole lot of this product. Now the cool thing about this product is it is reusable. Okay, so once it gets heated up and it starts to become more plastic or more shapeable, right? I can put the bits into it, make the copies that I want, and let's say I don't want this mold anymore. What I can do is I can reheat my water, throw in my Oemaru, and I can use it to make a new mold, right? So it's been in there for a little bit. I'm just going to fish it out. And you see how it's starting to take shape, right? You can see how my fingerprints are getting in there. So it holds really good detail, okay? And what I'm going to try to do real quick, let me fish it out again. I'm just going to use half a stick. So I'm going to pull this apart. I'm going to put this piece aside for our top piece because we're going to be doing a 2-piece mold, okay? Let that get back in there for a bit. Ooh, drop my brush. I'm going to let it start to heat up some more. You can also tell that it's starting to become a little clearer in color. Okay, so we can start to see through it a little better. That's letting us know that it's getting pretty close. All right, so I'm going to pull this one out. Kind of knead it and fold it. All right, so we're pretty good here. Okay, so I'm going to get it where I feel like it's good enough to work. Like this is a pretty good shape. Let it heat up a little more. Now if your water's too hot, it can tend to stick to the sides, and that's just kind of annoying. But okay, I'm going to pull it out now. Move this off to the side. And I'm going to get the bit that I want. Now for this one, I'm going to press it in back down. And I'm pressing straight down into the product. Okay, and with it in the material, I'm going to press and fold the material nice and tight up to the bit. Okay. And the tighter I can get that, the cleaner my bit is going to be. Okay? And you get a little bit of time to work this. All right, what I'm trying to do, sorry about that. What I'm trying to do is avoid any air bubbles there, any gapping there, anywhere in this piece where there's like an overhang of plastic and molding material. Okay, so that looks pretty good right there. Set that aside. This guy, you see how it's already become more solid. I'm going to toss it back into our water. Okay. Now, while this side is heating up, this side is cooling down. Okay, and that's pretty important because the Oimaru doesn't stick to anything except itself. Okay, but if this is cool and this piece here is hot, it won't. Okay? So, I'm going to check how this is doing. It's getting there. It needs to go a little bit longer though. We'll make sure we got good detail. And the softer it is, the better the detail is. Again, you can see how we can still kind of see it. That lets us know that it's not quite getting there, but we're close. Starting to get a little clearer. All right, give it a shot. Okay. That's pretty good. Get my other piece back. What I'm going to do now is give it a good shape and then press it pretty firmly into the face of that bit. And notice I'm pressing from all sides into it. The idea there is to get all the air out of there. See our bit in there? That's one of the benefits of having a clear plastic too. A little air pocket on the back of the head, but not too bad. Now we just let this cool for a little while, and we'll get back and I'll show you how to cast her up. Okay, so our mold has cooled down. You can see how it's gotten cloudy again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to peel it apart. Sometimes this can be a little tricky, but most of the time it's pretty easy. Okay. Pull our bit out. And notice there's nothing wrong with the original bit. And there's no molding product. And notice I didn't need any mold release either. There's the face. Looks pretty good. Kind of can see that detail. Okay. And there is the back side. Okay. Now, no, I didn't use a mold box or anything like that. The irregular shape that is formed just by the pressing that we do kind of gives us our register marks. Okay, see how that lines up pretty good? No worries at all. Okay. So, now we get to our casting material. So, got my aluminum foil. And I got my 2 parts of hardener and the steel part. Okay, now these bits, they're actually very durable. When you first get them, okay, these are brand new tubes. They just have a little aluminum cap there. Okay, on the back side of the cap has a spike. You can just stick it in, twist it around to get that hole open, and we're good to go. All right. Now again, this is just a Space Marine head, so I don't really need a lot of material. Okay, I'm gonna take that there, clean up my tip, put my cap back on. Okay, and do the same part with our steel side. See, got a cover on it. Pop it, spin it around. That's my hole. I'm going to try to get as close as I can to equal parts. Okay. Alright. Try to clean that up a little bit. Now I have done it where we put a little more of the steel than the hardener, and that basically just slows down the process of it getting hard. So if I make like a copy of some legs, I can actually manipulate how it looks by bending it and shaping it. So I can have a marine kneeling or in a running pose that wasn't originally in that pose, which makes for some really cool customization. And these box sets, the way they keep coming out, yeah, that customization options are pretty nice. Alright, so what I'm doing right now is just mixing to get a uniform color. Okay, and then I'm going to grab my mold. I'm going to scoop some of it up and kind of plaster it in to one side of our mold that we made. Alright. Okay. This doesn't flow like resin, which lets us get away with this kind of stuff. And notice I can pack it in there pretty good, which is what we're going to want to do. Now, you can use this same product with green stuff or milliput or anything of that nature, okay? And it works just fine, it works great. But, from my experience, this stuff sets up faster, and since it's more of a liquid material, we tend to get a better quality of detail, right? So, got that piece together. Got this piece together here. Now I'm going to do is find my register marks. Okay. Line up the mold and squeeze it together. Okay. See that face already starting to take shape in there? Kind of hard to see on the camera, but that's our bit. We're a little flash, but not much. But it's really easy to clean up. Okay. So, I'm going to let this sit for our 6 minutes. And we're going to see what we get. Be back in a minute. Okay, now that it's had some time to set up, you can check to see how it's doing by just touching the epoxy mix on our foil. And it feels pretty good. So then we can go ahead and go about taking this guy out of the mold. Kind of peel it open. And you can see there is our new helmet. Pretty clean there in the front. Got a little flashing to worry about, but not too much. Just kind of pull it out. There's the back. Alright, pretty good all in all. And then this stuff is kind of peel off. And then we can clean that up with our X-Acto blade, just like you'd kind of do with most any other bit or piece that we're working with. You know, admittedly a little more. But that's it. That's how it's done. Not too bad all in all.